Alright guys, so the first request I was asked to do was the Galaxy S20 Plus versus the iPhone 11. So the iPhone 11 retails for around 700 bucks, depends on if you get the renewed version, you can get it slightly cheaper. The Galaxy S20 Plus is going to cost you around $1,300. I paid $1,283 for this Plus model. Now let's talk about hardware on both these phones. You're getting a premium design on both, but I really love the Galaxy S20's design. The iPhone does look a little dated, especially when we get to the front, not so much to the back, but they're both glass and metal phones. They both have a nice weight and feel really great. It looks like the Galaxy S20 is slightly thinner than the iPhone and definitely much taller, as we can see here. So on the right side you have your power button on the iPhone, power button on the S20 with your volume rockers. Turn it to the left, nothing on the S20. You have your volume rockers on the iPhone and your mute switch. Then we come down below, no headphone jack on both of these guys, stereo speakers on the iPhone, stereo speakers on the Galaxy S20 Plus, USB Type-C, and then you have Apple's charging port. Now here's where the design starts to get just dated on the iPhone. As you can see, you got big bezels, you have the huge notch up top that houses the Face ID, and then on the Galaxy S20 Plus you have very slim bezels, I believe a 90% screen to body ratio, little punch hole, curved display gives it a more kind of premium feeling. So just a overall better looking device with the Galaxy S20 Plus as far as hardware goes. Now this is where the iPhone starts to lose in the display department. It's just like night and day. So you have a 1440p display on the Galaxy S20 Plus, 6.7 inches, 525 for the PPI. It's a 120 Hz display on Full HD and 60 Hz on the Quad HD, and it is just beautiful. I mean, it's really night and day. And on the iPhone, as you can see, you have that big intrusion with the notch, and you have the little small punch hole, which is not as intrusive. So with the iPhone, you have a smaller display. It's a 6.1 inch liquid retina display, basically a 720p plus display, 326 for the PPI. So it's a decent display, but it's just nowhere near this Galaxy S20 Plus. It's more color accurate. It's just an excellent display here. So for media consumption, you're gonna want to go with the S20 Plus all the way. And plus, like I said, you have 120 Hertz on here, so it's extremely smooth at 1080p. You can only watch videos on the iPhone at 720p. Alright, so you have stereo speakers on both these guys, so let's go ahead and test them out, starting with the iPhone. So the S20 Plus is actually louder than the iPhone, but the iPhone is giving off some really deep bass as well, which I really like. But you have really sharp, crystal clear mids and highs on the S20 Plus with those hi-hats. So it really comes down to personal preference. This is definitely the louder one though. Alright, so on the iPhone you're running iOS 13, the Apple A13 chip. Of course, no expandable storage, 64 gigs of internal storage and 4 gigs of RAM. On the S20 here, you're running Android 10 on top of One UI 2 and the Snapdragon 665 and the Adreno 650. Again, that chipset will change if you're out of states. But now as far as the OS and performance, both of these guys have been extremely fast. It really just comes down to whether you prefer, Android or, iOS. It really just comes down to that. FaceTime, iMessage, all that stuff. It comes down to that. But as far as like functionality and just having a whole bunch of stuff to do, you definitely have more things to do on the Galaxy S20. You just have more customization options, you have more quick toggles, you have the option to be able to lock applications into RAM so they don't exit. You have your split screen multitasking. So it really just comes down to that, what you really care about. So with the Galaxy S20 Plus, you have your micro SD support, 128 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM on here. here. So this is a very fast phone. If you go ahead and do a little quick speed test. Alright, so all applications have been cleared. So let's go ahead, start with YouTube. 3, 2, 1. Faster on the S20. Let's try Instagram. 3, 2, 1. Jetpack Joyride. 3, 2, 1. And let's finish with Call of Duty Mobile here. 3, 2, 1. So as we can see, Galaxy S20 is just blazing fast. Alright, so let's talk about the camera. So on the Galaxy S20 Plus, you have a 12 megapixel wide, 64 megapixel telephoto, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 0.3 depth sensor. This thing can shoot in 8K, is absolutely crazy, or 4K, 30 or 60 frames per second. You have a dual selfie camera, 10 megapixels wide, that shoots in 4K as well. With the iPhone 11, you have a dual camera setup, a 12 megapixel wide, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, shoots in 4K as well, and you also have a dual 12 megapixel wide camera that shoots in 2160p. Alright, so here's the first photo of outside, as you can see, of the trees. And what I noticed with the Galaxy S20 Plus is that it's definitely more color accurate, and with that 64 megapixel camera, you definitely get more detail, especially when you zoom in. And if you look at the sky, you can see that it's more blue, it's more real to life, and the iPhone just kind of washed it out. And this was just a point to shoot. It was nothing, I didn't do any special thing or promo with the camera. I didn't do any of that, just point it, shoot. Again, here with the Funko Pop, now I actually like the Galaxy S20 Plus picture just a bit more, but you do get good detail with both of them. And sometimes the Galaxy S20 Plus, like the focus is kind of weird. So Samsung said they were gonna fix that, but sometimes it just won't focus as good. So as you can see, the iPhone was able to get more detail with that shot. But the Galaxy S20 Plus is definitely still really good. It's just kind of has a focusing problem sometimes. Now when it came to the mic, I really liked both of these. I like the colors on the S20 Plus, but when you zoom in, again, it's like it didn't focus on the mic, and you can definitely tell because you lose detail for some reason. So definitely Samsung's gonna have to fix that focusing thing. I heard about it on the S20 Ultra as well. It's just a weird focus. It just won't focus on the right thing when you're doing a point and shoot. But very good cameras. I'll show you guys some video clips. They're both 4K. If I try to do 8K, it'll blow up my computer. So just some additional features, you do have IP ratings on both these guys, so you can get them wet and don't have to worry about them instantly breaking. You have NFC for mobile payments, of course. And let's talk about getting into the phone, because that's pretty interesting. So you have more ways to get into the phone on the Galaxy S20. As you can see, we have that fingerprint scanner, and we also have the face unlock. On here you have the Face ID on the iPhone, which works really great. They both work excellent, but it's nice to have that fingerprint scanner on the S20 Plus. And on here you just have the Face ID, which is very secure, but again, the fingerprint scanner is very secure as well. So it's nice to have multiple options with the S20 Plus. That's something that I really like. Now on the iPhone, you have a 3110 milliamp battery, 18 watt fast charging, and you also have wireless charging as well. And this can definitely do a day and a half of battery life very easy. So with the Galaxy S20 Plus, you have a pretty big 4500 milliamp battery. It has 25 watt fast charging, so it charges definitely faster than the iPhone. You have 15 watt wireless charging, and you also have the reverse wireless charging. So let's say if I wanted to just I can't do it over 30%, but if I wanted to turn the reverse wireless charging on, I would just basically turn my device over. It has to be over 30%, and just put a wireless charging compatible device on here, and it'll go ahead and charge the iPhone like that. That's very cool. It'll charge your earbuds or whatever. So very nice. So big difference with these two phones. Gonna go ahead and wrap this up. The biggest difference is definitely the display. video on here. Being able to shoot in 8K is really crazy. And I think the pictures just look better on the S20 Plus in my opinion, but the focusing needs to be definitely fixed, and that is coming. That 120 hertz is just crazy. It makes a huge difference. If you ever thought Android was slow or laggy, you try 120 hertz on this and you're going to be blown away by how silky smooth it is. So thanks for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.